How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you were with us yesterday and you've decided to come back today, I appreciate it. Thanks for popping along. I'm still wearing the same clothes. I haven't left the studio. I've not even been to bed. So there you go. All right, so a couple of little things that I wanted to show you with regards to how I get some of the tones that I get. A couple of little, I mean, they're not secrets. Everybody knows about them because I'm putting it on the fucking internet now. So, you know, it's not like it's, you know, it's not a secret. It's not a secret. We're going to start with the 2204 because that was the amp that I used yesterday for the Bryan Adams video. If you've not seen that, it's in the list of videos that you should go and watch, where we talk about presets bought and free and whether you're going to like them or not. So at the beginning, as always, is the Scream 808, zero gain, full level. Tone is just above halfway, 6.5. That is the settings for the amp. All I've done to the amp is lower the sag a little bit and took a little bit of the mids out, because if you know your tube screamers, you'll know that they're quite a mid heavy pedal. After that is the calligraphic EQ. Glitz reverb, dual delay, retro reel, tile reverb, and these two things at the end, the retro reel and the tile reverb, that's kind of where the magic happens for me. Okay, for me. So let me just show you. I'll just take that off there and I will turn the EQ off. So just it's kind of quiet, and I put the EQ in between the amp and the cab for this reason. Hear how that kind of picks up? Okay. Cab is just the standard 4x12 greenback, and like you say, we hit the glitz, we hit the dual delay. So when I pop over to the retro reel, if I just turn the delay off, I pop over to the retro reel, and I'll show you what that sounds like without and then with. Same with the tile on the end, it just adds that little something. The tile reverb's that's my go-to. It's just that the retro reel's been kind of doing something for me. For, like I said yesterday, it just irons out the shit. It just kind of makes the guitar a little bit more manageable without having to, you know, throw compressors in and do this, that, and the other. Because I'm just not a compressor fan. Don't like them. They show all of my mistakes. So that on the end is the magic sauce. So what you will find is you'll go, well, it's quite quiet, that patch, isn't it? Yes, it is, until we do this. So I'll turn the dual delay back on, I will turn that back on, I'll turn that back on, and then I will drag the retro reel down, and then this will happen. Again, huge, absolutely huge. There's a cross between Donald Trump and somebody Irish. So that's basically why I do it. I mean, the retro reel and the tile reverb, they're the biggest things that you will need just to kind of pick your sound up and push it out, because loud isn't always better. Do you know what I mean? And adding more gain and adding more presence and adding more treble, it's a recipe for disaster, particularly either in the studio or live. It can become problematic. So if you can get your core tone from the amp and the cab of your choice, because you might decide that, well, seeing as how old Johnny Boy is still punching his mic, seeing as how old Johnny Boy is splitting the amp and the cab, well, I might change the cab and I'll use a 2B12 instead, which a 2B12 realistically can be a little bit more focused if that's what you're into. For me, it's not, because I'm an old fart and I was born in the 70s and learned to play guitar in the 80s. So everything to me has just got to be like 4x12s, man. Yeah. Back when I had hair and I was thin and sexy, and then I got married and this fucking happened. So that is our standard patch. And what I'll do now is I will drop over to, we'll just save that just in case I've made any changes and errors for when you download it. I'll swap over to exactly the same patch but with the IR, because one of the questions that I get asked all of the time is, do you use IRs? Aren't stock cabs, the way to go? Yes, they are. If you're into stock cabs, fine. It's all subjective. I found one IR that was free in a pack from way, way, way back that I loved. As I was cleaning up the computer, I was just like, oh, well, what's that? Oh, I haven't even tried that. Plugged it in, bang. That was it. That was the one. And I loved it, and I've used it ever since. I've probably been using this IR now for maybe 14 months, 15 months, and it's amazing. So this is that's the one we've just done. And this is the IR. Sustain for days as well. If you noticed as well, where the retro reel's concerned, it's kind of giving off an almost phasey kind of sound without there being a phaser in there, because again, I'm kind of possibly looking after less is more kind of theory, and I just like everything that it brings to it. And I think it's one of them things, or it's them two things at the end that's really important. And obviously in the middle, sticking that graphic in between the amp and the cab, regardless of whether it's an IR or not, because IRs are set in a particular way of what they were modelled on the day. This will really help you. That's the best thing. Calligraphic EQ right in the middle of the amp and the cab is that's the golden ticket, man. So that's the IR that I'm using. It's the Ownhammer 412 Recto V60 16007. I'm assuming that the 16007 is going to be the mic that was used when they modelled it, and that's all I use. I don't use anything else. It's very rare that I'll use stock cabs now, only because I've kind of found that is really comfy for me. So they're the tips that I wanted to give you. Retro reel, drag it down, leave it as stock, just kind of make sure that the level is not turned up. 15 IPS is kind of where it needs to be. The only thing that you might decide that you want to change is the wow and the flutter. I've got it at 3, kind of gives me that phasey effect. And if you want to lower that and take that phasey effect out, but still get a little bit of a lift, then do that. And then the tile reverb at the end. Let's just go back to that patch, and I want to just show you something, because I did have a rather heated discussion with somebody telling me that the tile reverb made absolutely no difference at the end of a patch. All right, let's prove them wrong. As the chord disappears, you can hear it. Particularly if you're listening in headphones. So if I turn that all the way up, tone disappears. Drop that back down to 44s, kind of like, that's kind of like where I like it. When it comes back. I can hear it. I'm sure people at home that are listening in headphones can hear it as well. So, what do I know? What do I know? I've only been using this thing for 6 years or whatever it is, and what do I know? obviously nothing. That's why I'm sitting alone in this room talking to a fucking camera for the rest of my days. All right, so thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Just do me a massive favour. Hit the subscribe button and do that thing to the bell, because this is really important. Do you know what I mean? This is good for subscribe. This is just amazing for the bell. If you do all that good stuff, it just keeps me coming back for more. And thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.